People are having to point out that there is a difference between Skittles and refugees following a meme that Donald Trump Jr. posted. So the meme says, if I had a bowl of Skittles and I told you just 3 would kill you, would you take a handful? That's our Syrian refugee problem. And Donald Trump Jr. captioned it saying, this image says it all. Let's end the politically correct agenda that doesn't put America first. Hashtag Trump 2016. So obviously the Twittersphere was abuzz responding to this. Jason Sparks says tens of thousands of Syrian children have been killed in the war. They aren't Skittles, they're children like yours. One Twitter posted just simply a photo of a Syrian refugee child with the caption Skittles. And actually, what I thought was most interesting about this story, although there are a lot of different aspects that we're going to get into, Mars Incorporated responded saying Skittles are candy, refugees are people. It's an inappropriate analogy. We respectfully refrain from further comment as that could be misinterpreted as marketing, which I thought was really respectful how they handled this discourse. So Hassan, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think about the analogy? Do you think that it holds up? Do you think that people are okay to be outraged by it?
4 million people have left Syria so far since 2011. 8 million people inside of Syria that are still stuck there are displaced. 50% of that 8 million is women and children. 50%. Okay? There are different factions fighting one another. Kids can't go to school anymore. Thousands of people die in the Mediterranean Sea every day. We see images of it where bodies surface in beaches of Turkey, beaches of Greece, every day. The problem is that when Donald Trump Jr. puts out this meme, he genuinely believes that Syrian people are no different than Skittles. Like, they're no different. They're not. He views these people with real lives that are leaving their country. They're running away. They didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for the al-Assad regime to decide to fucking use chemical weapons on its citizens. They didn't decide that ISIS should take over, that should try to take over and reinstate the caliphate and have a totalitarian regime in Syria. They're just trying to live their normal lives. They're trying to survive.
Okay, so...
And to Donald Trump Jr., they're no different than inanimate objects. They're not. He just thinks that it's a threat to America because they're fucking Muslims, they're brown, they're different, and that's it.
Okay, so in summary, you and I are in agreement that this was an inappropriate analogy to make. Yes. I just want to make sure that, because yes, it is an inappropriate analogy to make, so we can have it with a fine point. And then my follow-up question would be, obviously, Donald Trump Jr. and the Trump campaign and every campaign that we're seeing, whether it's Hillary, Jill Stein, or Gary Johnson, whatever, you want to appeal to people on social media. So I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to throw up an image and be like, "This is our point." There you go, and you know, 140 characters or less. But wait, let me finish my point. So in 140 characters or less, he's trying to, you know, relay what their perspective is. My question to you is, would there have been a better way to do it, or in general, is it just you cannot reduce this issue to Twitter?
I mean, you can put out a tweet saying, we should help the Syrian refugees because they are human and so are we, and it's partially our fault for arming fucking Syrian military factions that now are fighting the Assad government. Like, that's more than 140 characters, obviously. But look, I don't agree with his concept, regardless of whether he wrote a, you know, really striking commentary on Huffington Post that was 800 words or more, rather than just a meme that he posted on Twitter. I disagree with that concept. Donald Trump talks about it all the time. His campaign is constantly using this refugee problem as an important point in their platform, where they're always saying, they want to ban all Muslims from entering the U.S. All Muslims. My parents would not be able to enter the U.S. under a Trump presidency. They would not be able to. They're Turkish. They're progressive. I've never prayed a day in my life. They would not be able to they would not be able to come and visit me.
So I guess.
They use this they have a certain point on it. It's driven from xenophobic ideas. It's inhumane, the way they think about Muslims. And even though Donald Trump will consistently say, I'm not racially profiling, I'm not profiling against Muslims, When in reality, yes, he is. When you say we need to instate a travel ban on all Muslims entering the U.S., you are profiling all Muslims.
I guess sort of my larger thought that I want to talk about with you is, obviously, I do not agree with just about anything that the Trump campaign has put out there. But I wonder, why is it such a stretch for them to engage in respectful discourse at this stage? I'm sure that it's for shock value. I'm sure that, obviously their supporters agree with the messages that they're putting out there. What bothered me about this specifically was like, look, I disagree with your point about the Skittles and the refugees. And whatever that analogy you're trying to make, I understand what it is. I disagree with it. But can't there have been a more respectful way to say that? Even if I disagree with it, how did this get past so many people? Have we just totally thrown any sort of respectful commentary out the window?
Yeah, dude, come on. They haven't had a single piece of respectful, they haven't had any sort of respectful discourse from the get-go, regardless of I disagree with Republican talking points all the time, okay? Like, for example, their hard stance on immigration. Like, on certain points, I disagree with that a lot, right? But Donald Trump doesn't just say we need stronger borders like Ted Cruz. At least Ted Cruz is a regular Republican who understands that the sentiment is still the same, hard no on immigration in general, but Donald Trump will go ahead and call them rapists and murderers. So they've never had respectful discourse from day one, and a part of that is because he's a demagogue, and he's appealing to the white masses that work in blue-collar jobs that are just angry at the government. They're angry at the world for the shitty hand that they've been dealt, and they need to lash out at something, and Donald Trump is channeling that anger and using the same rhetoric they would use, and that's why these things are, that's why they keep saying crazy shit like this. That's why they retweet, the Star of David, or like in a Nazi propaganda looking type of Hillary ad.
No, I think that that's a really good point to end on, is that this campaign is obviously just sort of regurgitating the type of rhetoric that they're hearing from their supporters that will appeal to their supporters. So it just becomes this bubble of hate. And I'm not really sure what to do about it, but this, gosh, it just seems like an absolutely new low to compare people to candy. But guys, we want to hear from you in the comments section below. What did you think about this meme? Did it upset you? Did you think it was okay? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This is Hassan Piker. I'm Grace Baldridge, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.